Hi, Cosmic Intelligence Agency fans, Facebook fans. This is Tara Greene, an Agent 129 of the Cosmic Intelligence Agency here. Oh, I can see myself this time. Okay. All right, welcome you to the October Tarot Astrology Preview. I'm on here a minute early just to make sure everything is going fine. So I can't see you, although I'm kind of looking here on my phone just to see if I can watch people as they come on. It's always nice to, so come on and say hi, and hopefully I can see you. So welcoming you here. If you haven't been to this program before, this is a monthly feature that I do, very happy to do for the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. I'm a professional tarot card reader and an astrologer. Hi, somebody just said hi there. For 29 years. So I'm going through my Saturn return being a professional tarot reader and astrologer here. So welcome. I can see people coming up this time too. Well, that's really nice. Okay. So maybe Mars retrograde is good for some things because you get to review and go back over things you've been done before. All right. So the format of this program, what I do is I talk about the basic astrology aspects between the planets, the full moons, the new moons, and where the planets are changing signs for the month. And then I will do a tarot card reading using the 22 major arcana. I have a very large, oversized Rider-Waite Smith deck that I use here. And so I will pick a card for each sign. So you have to be patient because I start with Aries. I have to go through all the signs until we get to Pisces. And I will explain what the card is for you to guide you for the month ahead. And then I've also got this extra special little deck, which is called the In-Between Tarot. It's a very unique little deck by Janine Worthington, produced in 2010. I hope you can see it there. Kind of giving you just an extra little special guidance, because, things are very crazy and heavy, and it's 2020, and, it's the year of the Emperor, and it's a master number year, and we're already in the 10th month here. All right, so it is a blue moon this month. So once in a blue moon, they do happen once every 2 years, 3 years. The last one was in 2018. And so it's 2 full moons a month. So you've got twice as much to howl about, women who run with the wolves and everybody else who loves to run with the wolves and howl. You've got twice as much to howl about. So the full moon is actually tomorrow. It's actually, it is September the 30th here in Toronto, Canada. I know it's the day ahead in Australia where the Cosmic Intelligence Agency originates. So for everybody down under, we're already in October the 1st. So it is an Aries full moon at 9 degrees, okay, conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. So we are going to be feeling the wounds and wanting to lick our wounds. And, Chiron in Aries, because it's a fire sign, because it's the sign of the warrior, is very defensive. But Chiron in Aries is all about kind of instant healing, spiritual healing. We want to get there. We want to have that instant poof, walk on the fire and be healed. So again, this is a time for us to go into being vulnerable, to take off the armor. Okay, now there is a new moon in between those 2 full moons on October the 16th at 23 degrees Libra, squaring Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. That's the triple threat there in Capricorn. So again, this is tension. Squares are difficult aspects, as if we haven't had enough of that. And then October 31st, big Halloween, full moon, blue moon. It's the witch's new year at 8 degrees Taurus, conjunct Uranus. Okay, now that is, I call Uranus and Taurus the cosmic cattle prod there, because Taurus is very stubborn and very sensuous and bullheaded, and again, that is a big change up. We're going into the age of Aquarius, kicking, maybe dragging and screaming some aspects of society. But anyway, that is going to be a big blue full moon. All right, Scorpio season begins October 22nd. Mercury also turns retrograde this month. Okay, for the last time this year, we're heading into the home stretch now in 2020. Turns retrograde in Scorpio on the 13th or the 14th, depending on what time zone you're in, and backs up, does the Mercury walk backwards into Libra until November the 3rd. Yes, that is on election day in the US. It does turn retrograde earlier in the day, but as Mercury is stationing, moving direct, it's even more powerful. And of course, Mercury is going to be squaring those big 3, that, Capricorn convergence there. So again, what to expect on that one. It's happened before. So Mars will join Mercury will join Mars, Uranus, Neptune, Chiron, and Ceres, still all moving retrograde. So we're still all being in that held back position. Venus is very flirty. She's going to, moving fast, she's going to change sign and dresses twice this month. And Pluto will also turn direct. Okay, so that's the overview. Now, we're still stewing in that Mars-Pluto square. Okay. So Mars, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, they're all basically all. So things are very tense. On the 2nd, Venus will enter Virgo. And so love is accountable and workaholics will rejoice. So it's a good time to pay attention to your diet, to your health regime at that point, and to just get very budget conscious. That's what Venus and Virgo does. On the 3rd and the 4th, Mercury and Scorpio will in conjunct Chiron and Aries. In conjuncts are 150-degree aspects, so they are literally, planets are in signs 150 degrees apart. They literally cannot see each other. And even though in conjuncts, or they're called quincunxes as well, that's a good tongue twister, but I love that word, are difficult aspects because we just don't see it coming, where it's in the blind spot. So that's why I think it's really important to pay attention to them. On October the 4th, Pluto, Lord of the underworld and wealth, turns direct for the first time since April 25th. So literally everything, all the hard work on our shadows, working in the underworld that we've been doing, kind of hanging out there with Pluto and Persephone, Pluto comes up for some breath of air there, wearing his invisibility helmet. So a lot of that deep wealth that you've been sourcing, you've been working on, can now come out and move forward. So that's a good thing. On October the 7th, Mercury in Scorpio opposes Uranus and Taurus. So again, oppositions are tense aspects, but again, anytime Mercury opposes Uranus, it's very creative, it's higher thinking, it's breaking free, it's rebellion, deep secrets are going to come out, probably shocking ones at that point, because, Mercury in Scorpio is digging out all the dirt about money laundering and sex scandals. And of course, as the things are getting more intense, all of that dirt's coming up too, which is, again, a good thing. Now, October the 8th, Venus and Virgo in conjunct Chiron and Aries. Again, these are wounds from maybe being too perfectionistic, too self-critical, too hard on ourselves, worrying too much. Venus and Virgo is going to amp up that worrying for sure. And especially, we're going to have to learn to find a still point here. We're still in Libra season. On October the 9th, Mars retrograde squares Pluto at 22 degrees. Now that is the same degree of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that happened on January the 12th. So again, that day, October the 9th, really triggering. It's like we're, firing up that degree again, that same energy that from an astrological point of view is in sync with the COVID-19. That's how I would say it. So again, very intense. People are angry. There's backlash, of course. So it can trigger some major wars, conflabs, big things with the economy coming up, okay? And if you have planets around those degrees, again, be careful. Mars retrograde in Aries is dangerous, okay? Now, on the 10th, Venus trines Uranus and Taurus, so that's good for, finding love with people that are different, changing up your values, kind of doing things in a new way. On October the 11th, the Libra Sun squares Jupiter in Capricorn. So again, the squares are tense, cardinal squares. Again, anytime we're dealing with Jupiter, it can be a good thing. Okay, let's put it that way. The Libra Sun then in conjunct Neptune and Pisces. So it may be difficult for you to get a sense of where your dreams are at that point, or you may feel clouded psychically. On the 12th, Jupiter sextiles Neptune in Pisces, and Mercury in Scorpio sextiles Venus and Virgo. So sextiles are very nice aspects. They're positive. Planets are harmoniously, elementally connected. So that's a good thing. Good in terms of dreaming, in terms of meditation, in terms of psychically connecting with people, and Mercury in Scorpio can be very kind of fun, connecting with people that you've dealt with in the past, okay? October the 13th, Mercury turns retrograde at 11 plus degrees of Scorpio, where it will backtrack again into Libra, turning direct November the 3rd at 25 degrees of Libra. Okay, so again, we're going to be rethinking, rehashing, giving our brains a rest in a way, going through finances. So it's a good time to deal with any of that old financial issues, budgets, debts, inheritance, taxes, all of that stuff that Mercury and Scorpio is all about. Not so good for the economy, though, in some senses either. October the 15th, Sun squares Pluto in Capricorn. Again, Pluto is the Lord of wealth. If you're really marching on your soul's path, Pluto will bring you wealth. So you should be feeling kind of, very strong and proud if you know what your path is. On the 16th, there's that new moon at 23 degrees of Libra, again, squaring the big three there, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, and opposing Lilith in Aries at the very last 29th degree. That's very intense for women. That opposition, again, is about, I think women going to war for sure, opposite the sun and the moon. If you have Lilith, other planets at 29 degrees of cardinal signs, that might make you really want to walk away from any situation unequivocally that does not feel right to you. Okay, do not compromise is the main thing about that, especially in Libra, which wants to compromise and wants to be nice. This is going to be a bit of a hard choice to make, but anyway. Okay, October the 18th, Sun square Saturn. Again, heavyweight Saturn, to deal with seniors, fathers, tradition, history. At the same time that Venus opposes Neptune and Pisces. Now, Venus is considered to be human love, and Neptune is considered to be higher love or soulmates. So that's kind of an interesting balance there. It can be very spiritual, very psychic, very intuitive. Be careful that you're not overwhelmed by all of the emotional energy in the world. Okay, but dreams. It's a great night for dreaming, for meditating. That's being creative. That's a really good day for that. Now, on the 18th and 19th, Mars retrograde squares Jupiter in Capricorn. Again, these are tense, hard. Be careful. People are going to be angry. They're going to have chips on their shoulders. Be careful not to ruffle those feathers there. Venus in conjunct Mars retrograde. This is relationship trouble. But at the same time, Venus trines Jupiter. So that's a very lucky, positive energy there. Earth trine. Good for Tauruses as well. We're only halfway through the month here. October the 18th, 19th, Mercury retrograde opposes Uranus. So that's usually financial stock market chaos, can be earthquakes as well. Planetary alignments do align with earthquakes and things like that. So that might be a date to watch out for. On October 21st, Venus trines Pluto. That's one of the best, nicest energies of the world. Wealth, love, beauty enhanced, redecorate your house, feel stronger about who you are and what you're worth. On the 22nd, it's Scorpio season. So we move into the dark times of the year, the most obsessive. Things are going underground. They're naturally inward. So a lot of change, a lot of transformation. We're dealing with shadows. We're dealing with power struggles at that point. It's very sexual, financial, all of that Scorpio stuff. Mercury retrograde in conjunct Chiron and Aries also on that date. It's on the 23rd in Greenwich Mean Time. Again, feeling wounded and vulnerable, but in a way that you may not notice. So it might be a good time to dig deeper, Mercury and Scorpio digging deeper into our own psyches. All right, on the 24th, Venus trines Saturn. Now that's a good aspect. You're going to sign a business deal. You're going to get serious about love. That's a very good time to get married, to make any kind of commitment. Business commitments, excellent to launch a new business, something like that. October the 25th, the Sun and Mercury conjunct with Mercury retrograde, okay, at 2 degrees of Scorpio. So again, it's a sense of looking deeper below the surface, reviewing finances, feeling kind of pretty good. We can never go wrong with the Sun. October the 26th basically is a no major day. You get a day off. It's like a get out of jail free day. So just chill and relax there. That doesn't happen very often. On the 27th, 2 planets change sign. Mercury retrogrades back into Libra in PDT and EDT. Venus enters her home sign of Libra. Yay! Also in those same time zones. So it's back to back. Libra front, Libra back. Kind of interesting for Libras there, how you'll feel that. Now, on the 28th, we're almost finished this month, Mercury retrogrades back into Libra, as I said. That's in GMT, and also Venus enters Libra in GMT. The Scorpio Sun in conjunct Chiron in Aries. Again, there's a lot of these in conjuncts. So it may be things that you weren't expecting. You know, it's like, what am I not seeing here is the big question to keep asking yourself so you're not surprised. And then on Halloween, on that big full blue moon at 8 degrees of Taurus, it's very earthy, very sensuous, very grounded. I don't think people are going to be out on Halloween, but you could have a virtual Halloween connection, getting together with your coven, with your tribe, with your group. It is Witches' New Year, traditionally pagan New Year. Uranus is exactly opposite the moon, so that's a big switch up, you know? Okay, the big cosmic cattle prod there on a blue moon, and the cows jumping over the moon. All right, okay, so, okay, let's get down to the tarot business now. Okay, so here we are with the way this works. Okay, I'm going to use my special crystal here. I use this to tune into everybody. I'm wearing my special high priestess hat here. I am a high priestess, actually, numerologically. All right, so Aries, let's see what you need. So I'm going to start shuffling these cards. What does Aries need for October to get through this month? Okay, Aries, you get that devil. Okay, so the number 15 here, better the devil you know than the one you don't. Okay, now the devil is a very misunderstood energy in terms of the tarot. The number 15 is related to the sign of Capricorn, by the way, another cardinal sign. So again, I would relate this to all of these hard squares that Aries is getting right now. And you're frustrated because your ruling planet Mars is holding you back, is trying to teach you some patience, as is Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto. You probably don't like that. So be careful not to project out onto everybody else your own stuff. You know, the devil is our own shadow. So Aries, what is it you don't want to look at in yourself, which can be actually your greatest teacher? Sometimes they call it a tyrant teacher. Look at the people outside of yourself. Look at the situation. You know, where are you projecting that? You know, the devil is also selling your soul to the devil, to the material world, to not really paying attention to your own power. You know, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the light, the fire, the big bang, the initiator, you know, and so maybe you're a little bit too full of yourself, and you need this time to be held back, to be held down, you know, to be like, it's not a prison, it's just a temporary, you know, Mars retrograde energy here where you need to slow down. So the devil is also about choices. It is the other side of the Lovers. You can see there's two figures here, a man and a woman, apparently chained, but they're not. So the devil is always about illusions, about projection. Where are we projecting that we have no power onto the world? Okay, we all have our own power if we really listen to ourselves, if we really look at ourselves. So the devil can be fear. You know, Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, said there are only two emotions in the world. There is love or there's fear, and the devil represents fear and separation. So our choices to be still in a state of unity, not opposition, is really important right now in a world that's really being built up to be oppositional. So where can we get to our key sense of unity in the world? Okay, so Aries, you get the devil. So if you feel like you're being blamed as being the devil, you have to look at yourself. Okay, now, so for Aries, I'm going to pick another card for you here from this little deck. Okay, and this is called Temptation. Okay, see how the tarot works? This is live. You can't make this stuff up, folks. You get the devil card and you get temptation. So what's tempting you right now, Aries? Look at what's tempting you. Look at where actually you're vulnerable to temptation. That's a really important lesson, you know? Okay, so there you go. You get those two cards. All right. Okay, so now Taurus. Now please be patient here. Okay, as I move along. Okay, so Taurus energy. Taurus people. All right, you get the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so this is the number 10. The Wheel of Fortune is one of the most positive cards in the deck to get. It is the planet Jupiter. So Jupiter in Capricorn there, of course, trining your Earth sign there. There should be a sign that things are moving forward, maybe in a very chaotic way, of course, still with Uranus and Taurus hanging around the 8th, 9th, 10th degree there for people born 8, 9, 10 degree days into Taurus there. So always see yourself at the center of this karmic wheel, the wheel of time, always moving. You have to find a sense of stability, and that's what Taurus loves the most. Okay, so It's time to take some chances. Okay, Taurus, I know that you really don't like change, but this is time to take chances, to kind of feel optimistic. I know it's hard to do that these days in some ways, but we have to feel optimistic that this is just a phase, a cycle. The world's always going through cycles, as difficult as COVID-19 has been and as challenging as 2020 is for a lot of people, where there is instability, which Tauruses do not like. It's a chance for you to move forward, to trust, to have faith. That's Jupiter. He's the planet of trust, faith, optimism, humor. So you need to lighten up a little bit, Taurus, about all this. Okay, you get the Wheel of Fortune. Take some chances. I know, maybe go to Las Vegas, buy some lottery tickets. People are always asking me about numbers. I don't usually do things like that except to tell people to use their own numerology. All right, now this card here is called Crusade. Okay, so Taurus, what do you feel like you need to go out and crusade for? What side of the fence are you on? What values? Taurus rules values in general. What values, what tools, what worth do you have that you feel is worth crusading for? So this is where you need to put yourself on the line and say, this is what I stand for. This is who I am. I'm not afraid to say it. Okay, so Taurus. All right. Okay, so Geminis. So Geminis, let's see what we got here. Now, the North Node is in Gemini. And so in some ways, you all have to be leaders right now. Okay, so Gemini, you get the card number 18 here, the card of the moon. But this is the dark side of the moon, okay? I know you can play that Pink Floyd song now all month. So the dark side of the moon, it is related to Pisces energy. So for Geminis, it's like, what the heck is going on in your unconscious, behind the scenes, below, Gemini's that dual nature. So it's the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. You need to pay attention to what's bubbling away there below the surface in your shadow side. The dark side of the moon is the side that we never want to look at. But it could be very valuable for you to do that right now, okay? Again, to balance you out, Gemini, all air signs are dualistic. So, it's always this constant, balancing the sides out. So the moon, again, it's shadows, it's projection, it's, Geminis do tend to project out their own stuff that they don't want to own onto other people through mixed messages, through miscommunication, through unconscious projection. Okay, so you really need to pay attention to this right now, Gemini. If you're having trouble sleeping, I would really advise that you do some meditation, that you review your day before you go to sleep at night, and to feel more comfortable about going into your unconscious, that it's a safe space and not something to be afraid of. This card is also related to what's called traditionally the dark night of the soul. So it is feeling abandoned or lost or in your victim routine right now. Don't go there. That's a Pisces thing. It's just a waste of energy. It's better to be conscious and to examine the unexamined life there, the road less traveled, and to be aware. Okay, bring that awareness into consciousness. This would be a good time to do some creative writing, I would say, as well. Keep a dream journal. Do some dream incubation, especially you got 2 full moons this month to do that on. Okay, so Pisces, the moon, it's a sign of endings. Things need to come to a conclusion that have been backed up. It's like a sewer. Need to use the cosmic Drano there to open the pipes. Okay, all right, now, where are we here? Okay, so Gemini, let's see, what do you need to help you through this month then? Okay, you get the card called Twilight. Twilight, now Twilight is also, it's kind of very Gemini-like. It is standing in between the cycles of day-night. It's like dawn or twilight, especially at night, but there is a twilight in the day too. And it's Twi, which is 2. So it's, again, very Gemini-like. The twilight of the gods, the twilight of inspiration. It's maybe you need to get up really, really early when the sun comes up, wherever that is, in whatever time zone you're in, or really to observe when the day changes, when the day merges into night. It's a very magical time, especially on the full moons and especially on Halloween, as that's considered to be the day when the veil between the worlds is the thinnest. Okay, so Gemini, twilight time. Okay. All right, Cancer. All right, so Cancer, let's see what you got. Now we know that you've been in this very oppositional state from all the planets, of course. Okay, so Cancer, you get the number 5 here, which is called the Hierophant, the Pope, okay, the High Priest, number 5. So this is a card that traditionally Cancer that has to do with being kind of stubborn and obstinate because it's related to Taurus. These are both feminine signs or receptive signs. And you tend to do things the hard way, Cancers, if you get a little bit too focused on things on the material plane, although I know we all have to take care of our households, pay our mortgages, feed our families, feed ourselves, but could be a little bit too worried or too focused on the material plane and not listening to your gut instincts, okay? So Cancers are very emotional, very sensitive. Of course, you've got 2 opportunities to peak this month during those full moons when the moon pulls the most on our emotions. Of course, it's on the 1st and on the 31st. So maybe you need to get yourself very grounded, Cancer. You know, this is Taurus energy, you know. Feel safe, feel secure at home. The number 5, the High Priest, has to do with listening to your higher self, of course. So the number 5 is also sacred to Venus because Venus does trace this 5-pointed star in her 8-year cycle. So again, love is always the way, love always wins. You can imagine yourself like the High Priest sitting on his throne there. In the other deck I use, the Thoth Tarot, it shows Isis standing in front of the High Priest as the feminine, as the soul, as the anima, speaking the truth. So again, because it's the Taurus nature here, Cancer is related to the throat chakra, the 5th chakra. What do you need to say? Speak your truth to your children, to anybody else that you feel is maybe not appreciating you or honoring you or respecting you for your knowledge. You know, everybody needs to connect with their higher self, but especially you right now, Cancer. So I know you're always so busy feeding everybody else and nurturing everybody else that you find it hard to receive. So this is a time to step back. What do I need to receive and nurture for myself? Okay, that might be a little bit difficult, but it's really important that you do that this month to find some kind of sense of balance and strength, you know, in yourself. Okay, so Cancers, you get the Hierophant there, the High Priest. And as a helper card here, Cancer, you get this card here called Balance. Okay, and of course, we're in the time of Libra right now. Stay balanced, just like as I was saying, stay balanced, stay focused. You know, you might be feeling like you're walking a tightrope for sure, even more so why you need to be balanced. Okay, all right. So Leos. Okay, all right. So Leos, let's see what you get. Okay, you get Temperance, number 14 here. So the number 14, the Temperance card, shows the angel, you know, the angel balancing out the 2 opposites. This is very much a repeat message in the tarot that the unity, that there is, everything comes out of unity, out of the great void, actually out of the darkness. All life comes from the dark. And there is this necessary polarization. You need to have opposites which are complementary for anything to be created. Okay, so here's the Temperance angel taking one feminine or receptive energy and blending it with the masculine or the active energy, black, white, yin, yang, whatever you want to call those polarities, to create something new. So it is the card of alchemy. Okay, so Leo, you need to be the alchemist. Okay, maybe you want to read that little book by Paulo Coelho, a great little book, actually, very easy to read. So where do you need to bring change to the parts of your life that have been stuck or held back or, you know, led in, like Saturn? Like Saturn is actually in conjuncting all of you Leos and Pluto and Jupiter. So wherever it is you're stuck, you need to go in there and see the gold, see the riches. You know, maybe it's cleaning your house, maybe it's finding some buried treasure somewhere deep inside of yourself, maybe it's through partnerships. In some decks, this is known as the sacred marriage card. It is called art in the Thoth deck, or alchemy. So the alchemist turning lead into gold within yourself. Okay, and the gold always represents the sun, and the sun is what rules Leo. So if you're feeling in the dark or not your usual bright, shiny, starry self, you need to go dig deeper into coming back into being the star of the show again, Leo. Okay, so Temperance, but it's always about balance, okay? Not too much of one, not too much of the other, kind of the perfect middle path. Okay, Leo. Okay, now for a an extra special little helper card here for October because we all need some help these days. This card is called Prophecy. Prophecy. Okay, so Leo, you need to do some scrying. You need to sit under the full moon and really tune in with the moon, especially when there's those Venus-Neptune aspects going on the new moon as well. Listen, ask your higher self, ask your guardian angel, for advice very much. It's not just about your own ego, it all comes from your higher self. So you need to be able to look into the future. What's coming down the line? How do I need to see, where I need to go right now? Okay, so Leo, be a prophet. Okay, all right, so Virgo. Okay, so with Venus entering your sign, you get all the love this month, Virgos. You got to be ready to receive that. So you get the number 11 here, which is called Justice. Now, in different decks, of course, Justice and Strength are interchangeable. Let's just go with the symbol on this. This is definitely Libra here for Virgo. So again, balance. I know it might sound like I'm repeating myself. Can't help it. This is the way it goes. So justice, working for justice, whether that's for whatever your political beliefs in, justice in the workplace, justice for people that have been ignored, people of color, Black Lives Matter, women's rights, animal rights, whatever that is that you feel, indigenous people's rights, whatever whatever it is that you feel is unjust, you need to speak out, you need to act, you need to campaign, you need to do something, you need to do the work, okay? Virgos always like to do the work. So, and where again do you need to bring balance in terms of your own life? Again, it's a constant back and forth here, okay? It's also about relationships, Virgo. So of course, with Venus and Virgo, could be the start of a new relationship, new work. I know a lot of people are looking for work. So for people who are Virgos or who have planets in Virgo, Venus and Virgo will bring you some love there for sure as well. Okay. All right. Okay. So Virgos, you get Justice. And then as a extra card here, it's an extra card. We get this one called Flux. Flux. Okay, so again, meaning, things are kind of chaotic, very interesting with the Justice card and the balance. So while things are kind of fluxing and flowing there, you need to be able to keep that sense of equilibrium, Virgo. So whatever it is, if it's a health routine, if it's your diet, if it's exercise, if it's, making sure that you have everything. I know you have everything so carefully under control, but some things you cannot control. So you have to expect that things are going to be always changing and you have to try to keep it together. Okay. All right. Now, Libra. Okay, so Libra. So the card you get here is the Emperor. Okay, the Emperor, number 4. So the number 4 is the digital reduction of 2020. So this is the year of the Emperor. Okay, so Libra. It's interesting because this is Aries energy. It's your opposite. Again, the thing about Libra is it tends to depend too much on what other people think. And what Libra really needs to develop is a sign of Aries. Okay, Aries energy. So fighting for yourself, standing up for yourself, doing things your own way. Okay, so maybe while Mars is retrograde here in Aries, this is a good thing for you. Okay. To review where you've been out of balance in relationships, to begin to assert your own power. The number 4 is about a foundation. It's about building up from the ground up. And of course, Libra, you're also under all of those cardinal squares, and again, the opposition to Mars there. So, be in your own power. Now, this could be also issues with bosses, authorities, your father, but it's also where you need to start something new, where you need to feel your own power here. So the Emperor, okay, this is a good sign of a new initiation and a new beginning. But again, I would advise you to wait, Libra, until Mars turns direct, and that won't be till November the 13th. So just start to sketch out that foundation. Okay, so Libra, okay, so what you need here. Purpose. Okay, so this is a good sign with the Emperor. What's the purpose of having the power, the initiative, the new beginning, the assertiveness? What is the purpose of that? That's a good question. It's always good to keep questioning, and a really good tarot reading will always actually keep you asking questions. So what is my purpose? Very deep, essential question there, Libra. Okay. It's more than just relationships and shopping and beauty. Okay. All right. So Scorpio. Now we're getting ready to go into your season, Scorpio. So let's see what you got here. Ah, you got the card of the sun. Interesting. So Scorpio, in the Northern Hemisphere, of course, we are in a Northern Hemisphere bias here. Scorpio is going into the dark times. It is the reverse. They're going into spring in Australia, down under. So this is the card of the sun, Scorpio. So no matter how dark, and even though you love the dark and hiding out, this is what brings you happiness, what brings you joy, what turns you on, what gives you energy, Scorpio. So especially do that, it's important for you to see the light, the positive energy in any situation. It's also a sense of lightening up about things. You're usually very dark, very intense, very obsessive, very broody. There can be a ray of hope coming into your life, very positive energy. I know people are quite suicidal, and if you do feel suicidal, please call a suicide hotline. Reach out. You need some sense of strength or power or purpose, or sense of something to wake up for every day. So the sun is essentially the sign of your own spiritual source, whatever sign you are. The sun is always at the center of everything. So finding your center, even in the darkest times, Scorpio, this is an important lesson for you. And a sense of playfulness. So, do whatever makes you happy at this point. Okay, the number 19, the sun. The sun is shining on you no matter where you are, no matter what's going on in your life. The sun is a star as well. So you could go out at night and pay attention to the stars and look at all those suns, all those stars out there at night, and know that you are connected. There's an old saying that every man and woman is a star. And so this is important for you to connect to that star energy, your own willpower right now, Scorpio. Okay, so in terms of a helping card here, Scorpio, for October, this is a card called Transition. Okay, Transition. Traditionally Scorpio is the sign of death or rebirth, transformation, sexuality, power, secrets, the psyche, all of that stuff. So there is always a transition. There is no death. Everything is always transitioning from death to life, life to death, back and forth. And Scorpios understand that, or more than anybody. So really think about that. Think about all the transitions. And this is another one that we're all going through, that the world's going through. Could be likened to the dark night of the soul that we're going through to get ready for a rebirth. All right. So Scorpio, transitions in your life right now. That can be a good thing, necessary. All right. So Sagittarius. Sagittarius energy here. As the South Node is in Sagittarius, let's see what you get. Okay. So Sagittarius, you get the number 9 card here, which is the Hermit. The Hermit cards. The Hermit is very positive, very protective energy. It is like a wise guide watching over you. So Sagittarius, you need to be alone. You need to finish things. Sagittarius can be a sign of dilettantes and putting things off. And so the Hermit, the number 9, is a sign of completion. So definitely this month, finish all those unfinished projects, okay? This is like Virgo energy. So of course, Virgo and Sagittarius energy are always square to each other. So Venus and Virgo is actually going to kind of kick your butt a little bit there to get down to work, to stay focused, to stay grounded, and to say whatever it is you need to say. Also pay attention to your diet at this time, your routine, your health, especially as we're transitioning into a different time of year. And people are worried about COVID-19, the flu season, and things like that. Pay attention to your health. Keep things really simple, Sagittarius. The Hermit lives very simply. So eliminate any extraneous things. It's a good time to declutter, to get rid of things, and to connect with your own inner wisdom, your own inner higher self, which is always there. Okay, so Sagittarius, you get the Hermit. Okay, and for a lot of people who are afraid to be alone, I just want to mention this, women especially, this is time to embrace the Hermit. You need to love yourself, to like your own company, to get ready to be in a relationship. Okay, so Sagittarius, so you get the portal. So portal is like Halloween. So especially pay attention on the blue moon at Halloween. Portal is always a gateway, a doorway, an opening. from one world into the next. So especially on the day when the veil is thinnest between the worlds, Sagittarius, really use your innate psychic powers to connect with your ancestors, to honor your ancestors, to go back and forth through that doorway, to gain new knowledge, and to bring it back. Okay, that's really a nice image there. Okay, so Capricorn. So Capricorns, let's see what you got here. You get the Tower. So the number 16 here, the Tower, is Mars. And so Capricorn, as Mars is retrograde in Aries in its own sign, it's definitely, kicking the butt of Capricorn energy as well as everybody else. But the Tower is a wake-up call. It is the shattering of the old structures. So Capricorns, you know this more than anybody else. I've done a lot of readings for a lot of Capricorns, people with Capricorn placements. The old structure that Saturn and Capricorn represents, Pluto is demolishing it down. So this is very much like a 9/11 energy here, where the twin towers, whatever your towers are, your ego, your job, your everything, the old traditional things that everybody's hung on to is being blown up. And, you have to wake up. And what are you going to do about it? Again, there has to be a demolition, a structural breakdown for anything new to be created. So see this as a very positive thing, although of course I know there are negative side effects, and of course thousands of innocent people died at 9/11. I'm not saying that was a good thing or anything. I'm just saying this is a big wake-up call. Now it can also be a shock of recognition, like being hit by lightning, which can be a good thing metaphorically. Struck by lightning, woken up, can't deny the light. So definitely go with that shock, the shock of the new. What is it I'm seeing here that I don't want to see, that I haven't seen before, that I've been in denial of? It's a sense to move forward, Capricorn, okay? Things are going to be more intense again as we get into we're in the final finish of the race here until December 21st, 2020, when Saturn, your ruling planet, and Jupiter meet up. So things are going to be intensified even more so now. So it's better to wake up now. And if you wake up consciously, the universe won't have to blast your whole tower down to wake you up. Okay, Capricorn won't have to do that. Okay, so Capricorn is a helping card here. You get this one called Ascent. Okay, so again, this is very appropriate, very synchronous. If something is blown up, torn down, destroyed, it makes way for an ascent. Ascension. A lot of people are seeing this as we're ascending into the fifth dimension, into higher dimensions of reality. We're not physically going anywhere. We're just ascending in our consciousness. And Capricorns can be very concrete and very materialistic. So ascending beyond that material plane. Okay, good. Okay, so I hope you're still with me here. Okay, Aquarius. Aquarius energy. All right, so Aquarius, we're going into your age. You know that, right? Little mini age starting soon. And of course, Aquarius, you get the Fool. Number 0, which is equal to number 22. This is the most powerful card in the deck. The first time you have a tarot reading, you're considered to embody the Fool, so don't laugh. It is the symbol of enlightenment. It is the first and the last. The Fool is a sense of trust and innocence. It is enlightenment because the Fool represents the soul being willing to come back into incarnation again, being willing to step off the cliff. And so you need to get back to that childlike innocence and trust, Aquarius, because if we're going to start a brand new little mini age and longer, then we have to be willing to throw everything out and start all over again. So that's a good thing, okay? So as a number 22 as well, and this year, 2020 being a master number year, it's like we already know all the answers. We just have to tap into that. And we have to live fully in the present. That's what the Fool is all about. Like the child who lives in the present, doesn't worry about the past, doesn't worry about the future. When you live fully in the present, you're aware of how miraculous and how amazing this all is. So be the Fool. Don't care what other people think, Aquarius. Be true to yourself. Okay? All right. Now, so Aquarius, the extra card that you get here, the helping card, is called the Sliding Door. Sliding Door. Okay, very interesting. What is that door? What's behind the door? This is like one of those game shows. Okay, the sliding door reveals, conceals. You may have to look what's behind the door. Just open the door. So this is a sense of opportunity. I like that card, actually. It's a bit mysterious. Quite a nice new opportunity here for Aquarius. Okay. All right, now we're at Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Save the best to last. Okay, so Pisces, you get the death card here, the number 13. Okay, so the number 13, again, the death card is nothing to be afraid of. This is major change, transition, transformation. Let things go. Don't hold on to negative situations, polluted situations. Don't hold on to toxic relationships. Don't be in codependent relationships, Pisces. Things naturally come to an end. Just let them go. Okay. It's not your job to be a martyr. So this can be a card also signifying rebirth. So for Pisces, this is a good thing. Pisces is the last sign. It is the sign where all Pisces know that they're inherently connected to source energy. And so you always know that there's never any death. There's just always eternal life and apparent death and rebirth. So this is where you need to draw on what you know, Pisces. Okay, this is a good thing. It's positive. It's change, it's transformation on all levels. Okay, so that's a good thing. All right, now Pisces are also going to feel those full moons as our Scorpio very strongly. So Pisces, what you get as a helping card here is called Genesis. Genesis. Now Genesis again is a sense of a new beginning. Genesis symbolically represents in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, of course, the beginning, the Garden of Eden. So Pisces, where is your Garden of Eden? What do you remember about being in that place? Because Pisces actually have a cellular memory that remembers everything in all lifetimes. So where did you come from? What is your origin? Connecting to that can be dreaming through past lives, Lemuria, Atlantis, off-world, different dimensional places. Where did you originally come from? Maybe that's what you really need to get to right now. So it would be very interesting to work with that energy, again, especially on the full moons, to find out, where do I come from? What is my origin here? Okay, very interesting card. Okay, so, all right, so that was the whole shebang there for October. I want to wish you a great October, and thank you for being here with me. I'm Agent 129. If you want to get in touch with me for private readings, classes, workshops, I'm at taratarot.com. So wishing you all the best blessings. Please join the Cosmic Intelligence Agency as a member. They have amazing astrologers and amazing ongoing workshops. Sending you the best blessings. Bye.